in the first part, we first looked at how do we write the WS and PS equation in terms of the real wage. Then we looked at how using the WS and PS equation, we can find the natural rate of unemployment. Then we finally plotted the WS and PS curves with unemployment rate on horizontal axis and real wage on vertical axis. Now I want to see, suppose the markup of price over cost increases from 5% to 10%. In the earlier parts, the markup was 5%. Now I want to see what happens to the natural rate of unemployment when markup increases to 10%. So ABC are done in first part. Now we'll do part D1. We know UN occurs at intersection of WS and PS. Now, what has happened is that WS is unchanged. Like when markup changes, we know it shifts the price setting curve, not the W weight setting curve. It's not influenced by markups. WS is unchanged, but we have new PS curve as PS curve shifts when markup changes. So let's first find, so we will use the original, so when finding the natural rate of unemployment, we'll use the original WS equation, but we want to find the new equation of price setting curve. For equation of new PS curve, in terms of real wage. So we know we found this in part 1 that the PS equation is given to us as W by P is equal to 1 by 1 plus. Now the markup is 10% and not 5%. It was in part 1. So then this becomes 0.909 and this is lower than the original 0.952 when M is 5%. Because we know okay, because we know when markup increases, the price setting curve shifts down and there's a decrease in the real wage offered by firms. Right. So now we have found the equation of the new price setting curve. So new UN, the new natural rate of unemployment, occurs at intersection of unchanged WS curve because markup does not affect that, of unchanged WS and new PS. And again, we know from part 1 that the unchanged weight setting curve is just W by P is equal to 1 minus U. We use your unemployment rate. And new PS is W by P that we just found is 0.909. So what we do is, so we just set both of these equal, the original or the unchanged weight setting curve equation, which is 1 minus U, equal to the new PS equation that we just found, 0.90. So 1 minus 0.909 is equal to U. So the natural rate of unemployment is 9.1%, which is greater than 4.76%, the original natural rate of unemployment, when M is 5% that we found in part 1. So original UN when M is 5% as found in part 1. So this was algebraically how do we find the new natural rate of unemployment. So we know that change in markup will change the price setting curve and leave the weight setting curve unchanged. So we first find the equation of the new price setting curve and then we solve it with the original or unchanged weight setting curve to find the new natural rate of unemployment. Now let's illustrate all of this graphically in the second part. So we know when you want to illustrate this graphically, so we're now doing part 2. So on the vertical axis, we take real wage, which is nominal wage divided by price level. On horizontal axis, we take unemployment rate, small u. So we have our downward sloping WS curve. So this we know is given to us as W by P is equal to 1 minus U. And we have our original price setting curve, or just make it again. Let's make it here. So your original price setting curve, which is W by P is equal to 0.9, this was 0.952. 0.952. Right, it was our original, this was 0.952, and this was the original equilibrium at point A, where we found in part 1, the natural rate of unemployment was 4.76%. So initial equilibrium is A. So now what happens is markup increases. So we know that causes PS curve to shift down. PS curve shifts down. And we know that is because if you look at in general, the PS equation is W by P is equal to 1. This is in general, right? Not for specific markup. Here we can clearly see that when M increases, there's an increase in the markup. So the real wage offered by firms decreases, right? So the price setting curve is going to shift downwards. So the new price setting curve that we found, the new equation that we found in part 1 here, so this is PS prime, is W by P is equal to 0.91. So right, it's going to shift down. Initially it was horizontal at 0.952, now it's horizontal at 0.91. So this is the new price setting curve. So now the new equilibrium is going to be at A prime, which is going to be at intersection of new PS curve and unchanged WS. Right? So that's going to be the new equilibrium. So this is the new equilibrium at the intersection of the new PS and unchanged WS. And we know the new natural rate of unemployment that we just found is 9.1%. So we can see there's an increase in the natural rate of unemployment as we found algebraically and a decrease in the real wage, equilibrium real wage. So new equilibrium is at A prime where UN increases and equilibrium real wage goes down. Right? So we have graphically also shown that initially started at A, then markup increases, the price setting curve shifts down, the new equilibrium is at the intersection of the new price setting curve and the unchanged wage setting curve. So as a result of this, the natural rate of unemployment increases. Let's just can just make this a little better. And this was UN is 4.76%. So we can see an increase in the natural rate of unemployment.